So, let's see if this works. Let's see if anybody shows up. Hey! Rush Rin. Shock Vivo? That's such a weird way to spell Vivo. What the heck, man? Echo Furry? Super Cello? Hey, hi guys. How you doing? Figured I'd start a live stream, you know, after the big release, the big announcement. Oh, just sitting here, pretty much just gonna chat with you guys for a bit, if anyone feels like staying and, you know, sticking around. But you know, I don't have a lot to do. I just figured I'd start a live stream and see what people are up to, you know. Scott? Hi, Scott. Just finished watching the Vsauce documentary. Awesome. What'd you think of it? Because I know not everybody's going to be able to watch that whole thing. It's one of those things where the video is so long that you might want to just watch it in different parts, or only watch part of it and then never come back to it. But, you know. Whatever people want to do, that's up to them. What are your opinions on Twitter? I like Twitter. It's one of my favorite social media platforms, but sometimes, well, okay, I don't necessarily like it. I just think it's one of those things that is good for communication and is good for growing an audience and building a community. But aside from that, I don't think I would use Twitter if I had a lot more to do. Honestly, the reason I use it is because I'm bored and I don't have a lot to do. So I just work on my videos, talk to friends, and check Twitter. I also have an Instagram now too. So let's see. That Vsauce video was absolutely amazing. I watched it in different takes. Yeah, I know a lot of people are going to do that because I broke the video down into parts, right? It's chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5, chapter 6, and chapter 7. Each one of those is broken down into 3 different parts, making it really convenient to watch in separate parts if you want. Each part is around, I think it's 4 to 10 minutes long each. Your documentaries are pretty good. Well, thank you. It was really well scripted. How many hours do you think you put into it? Well, I say, this is the number I give anyone. And I know this is extremely general, but I put anywhere from 100 to 400 hours into the video. It took me all summer. And 400 hours, that's, well, I mean, if I spent 6 hours on it every day and you divided 400 by 6, I mean, you can get an idea of how many days that is. So, Lewis, you got a Nintendo Switch? You bet! Right, well, here, I'll just show you this. That's pretty much all you need to see. I watched it 2 different times. Oh, so like you watched it in 2 parts. I got you. That's a good way of doing it. Because that would make each part around 42 minutes, something like that. And that's not bad. I'm very used to watching really long YouTube videos. I listen to a lot of podcasts and play games and stuff, and that can be fun. But, you know, some people just don't have the time for that. Sometimes they just need to watch it in little bits or not at all. Which is okay too. Are you excited about the upcoming FuzzyTube video by Colossal? Okay. Yes, of course. I really hope he actually gets it out, though, because the thing is, he's actually working on more than one video. He's talked about a video that he wants to make regarding old, forgotten drama, I guess, or old, forgotten, unresolved situations. And I remember he was talking about that on Shot from the Point with Tommy C. But the thing is about that is just that he mentioned it, like, so many months ago, and he just hasn't done anything with it. But then, of course, the FuzzyTube video, that's one that's been working for so long. It's like he made the first the FuzzyTube documentary is like part 1, but he never actually continued it. And of course, you know, the Colossal's crazy fans are always waiting for a video. If one thing motivates me more than anything else, or at least relaxes the fact that I don't upload sometimes, because remember, there was a good 4 months or something like that in between the time that I uploaded my last video and the time between I uploaded the documentary. There was one video in between there. It was like a 2-minute video talking about the fact that I had been on YouTube for 5 years at that point, and I just was doing a little retrospective kind of a thing. But you have to remember, that was like 4 months or something like that. And all I had to do was remind myself, I'm still uploading more often than Colossal is crazy. And that keeps you going. Because even people that upload more than Colossal is crazy can be considered active. Let's see. So the next question, what do you plan on doing with your next documentary? I haven't thought about it too much. I have a few ideas of who I want to be making the documentary on, but one of those ideas would be a very, very long video, much like Vsauce, and I'm not sure if I'm ready to jump into another project like that. I'd like to work on some other ideas first, and in fact, I actually have 4 scripts written, which I wrote 3 in the past 2 days. I wrote 3 scripts in the past 2 days because I've had so many ideas simmer up in my mind because of how long it's been. I've had so much time to work on the Vsauce documentary that I ended up thinking of a whole lot of other things that I can do. So those ideas articulated in my mind as I would edit the videos, and that helped me a lot because now I have a bunch of material to work with for recent videos. But in regards to a documentary, I don't know, because documentaries are a little bit different. I treat those differently than my, well, you could say normal videos, because I upload my other videos more than I upload documentaries, but documentaries is kind of what I'm known for. So the other stuff, though, I've got a lot of ideas for that, and the documentaries, not so much. Because I only ever want to make documentaries on YouTubers that I actually enjoy or personally watch. The reason for that is because if I make a documentary on someone that I'm not interested in, that would be so hard for me to sit through. Like, I just couldn't do it. I have to still be passionate about my work. Because obviously, documentaries are like a big thing for me right now. And I would never end that series, but at the same time, I like making my regular videos, or like my opinionated videos, the commentary kind of stuff. I like that more than documentaries at points. But, you know, it's one of those things where I can still have passion for the documentaries that I make. Alright, let's move on to, let's see, who said what next? So anyway, yeah, I do have a few YouTubers that I want to make it on, but I'm going to take a little bit of time to make some other stuff first. Let's see. I realized that the chat thing is showing, it's got these messages here that say show and hide, because I just have the screen share thing on this, but, alright. Where did I leave off? Oh boy. Alright, so, I really did enjoy the editing. Also, I would never be able to put over 100 hours into something like that. LOL. Well, it really depends on your dedication to the thing, because I'm very dedicated to the craft. I really like doing YouTube, and I really enjoy editing and scripting and research. And I really enjoy Vsauce specifically. He is an extremely entertaining YouTuber to me, and that helps a lot, because if I had no enjoyment in him, it would be really hard to actually work with that kind of material. But because I do, I can spend a lot of time on that stuff, especially things like the soundtrack. I found that to be really helpful, actually. You see, Michael Stevens from Vsauce, he has a really good taste in music. So a lot of the songs that I've used in the Vsauce video were from Vsauce. And I thought that was just, it just made the experience so much better because it gave me a lot of really good music to listen to. But now I've listened to every song they've ever used, and I don't want to listen to that stuff anymore. So I'm kind of done with that. Except for some games. Oh, well, yeah, I get that. A lot of people put a ton of time into games. That's a big thing. Hopefully the documentary gets Vsauce gets to Vsauce, just like how it got to Lamino. That would be really cool. I'd love to see that happen, but there are no guarantees on YouTube. That's one of the things that I just know for certain, and if the video doesn't do any better than it already has, that's acceptable. I mean, I understand why people would be upset to put 100 hours into something like that, but to me that's work. To me that's experience. It's learning. It's understanding how to just chip away at something and really put your time into a big project. I've really gotten a good idea of the scale of things now that I'm actually working on big projects like this. I can handle bigger projects better because of this kind of stuff. So it's helped a lot, I think. I think I learned a lot in the process of making that documentary. All right. Is there any YouTuber that you don't really enjoy? Well, I don't watch YouTubers that I don't enjoy, but yes, there are plenty of YouTubers that I don't enjoy. In fact, I've been trying to unsubscribe from as many people as possible because I don't want my subscriptions to be filled with things that I'm not going to watch. But you see, the thing is, if I were to go out of my way to watch somebody that I didn't enjoy, I would feel like I'm wasting time. And that's probably the biggest problem with a lot of YouTubers. I just feel like I'm wasting my life. I need to be doing something, learning something, or it needs to be contributing to me in some sort of way. So I don't hate any YouTubers, if that's more of what you were thinking. There aren't any YouTubers that I would, say, for example, make an exposed video on. But there are certainly YouTubers that I really enjoy, and some that are just okay that I watch sometimes, or sometimes just for background stuff, and it really depends on the YouTuber, I'd say. And only about 20 more subs until 2,000. I hope the Vsauce documentary gets you more attention. Well, that would be really awesome. I'd love that. Because getting in new fans from different areas is always cool. It's always good. And yeah, I'm almost at 2,000 subscribers. That's crazy. That's more than I've ever had on any channel. What's up, crippled Mexican? How you doing? Let's see. Why don't you have more subs? You deserve it. Well, sadly, 2,000 comes before 10,000, and 10,000 comes before 100,000. That's a phrase that the Willie Mac Show used in one of his videos. I don't know if any of you know who that is. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But it just was the perfect explanation to me, because it's like, yeah, you just have to grow. Even though you might deserve something, if you haven't grown in the way that the algorithm promotes it and the community supports it, then maybe you don't deserve it. So we'll just see and check it out. Alright, let me approve this comment. Documentation. Me just making up stuff about me and make me into the most bad person ever. Well, I'm not really... Oh, okay. I gotcha. I get what you're saying there, which is just me making a documentary on you and make it seem like you're this really cool guy. That would be interesting, to just put a bunch of fake facts into something and then make it seem like, woo, this person is like really cool, but then they turn out to be a nobody. That is one thing I'd love to do one day, though. If I had a lot of popularity, I'd love to go to somebody's channel that, like, let's say I enjoyed them. Let's say I had 1 million subscribers, right? And I'm watching a different YouTuber that has 1,000 subscribers, and I really enjoy their content. It would be so cool to make a documentary on them, because it would be the ultimate shout out. It'd be like, look at what this YouTuber with 1,000 subscribers has gone through, and they have not found success yet, but I want to be the one to give it to them. Now, I'm not saying using it as like a crutch or whatever, like kind of how Keemstar does. I mean, I don't know if any of you have seen what Keemstar does, but whenever he gives somebody fame, he always holds it over their head for the rest of their career. It's like, I gave you that. But no, that's not what I'm talking about. I wouldn't want to do that. I'm more talking in the terms of, I'd like to help somebody out, like a really good YouTuber out that's just not succeeding on YouTube, but could find success through a shout out or something like that. There are a whole list of problems with shoutouts. You gotta be very skeptical about them. They can be worse than they can be good sometimes. Trust me. Let's see what Nathan had to say. Kind of going through some stuff right now. Me and Boo are good, but I'm having to deal with a suicidal friend. My mom came home early, and my sleep's effed. I feel like S right now, and I have a cold. I'm sorry about that, Nathan. I mean, if you're talking to somebody else, then that's okay, because I can't really talk to you at the moment anyway. But I hope that stuff gets worked out for you, dude. Just gonna drop by and say that was a good dang documentary. Learned something new about new? K-N-E? Why does he say it like that? Learned something new? K-N... That's not how you spell new, Dre. Jeez. Learned something new, but I mean, it is a way to spell new, but it's the wrong kind of new, not the one that he's referring to. Okay, I'll stop. But I'll tell you about it later, dude. Keep that S up. Alright. I sure will. I'm glad you liked it, though. I didn't even realize that you watched it. Back to Nathan. She's also not letting me do the thing I said on Discord, which is really stressing me out. I want to see your video, and and I finished it, but my mindset today just didn't get to fully enjoy it. I understand that. Sometimes you don't always get to. Sometimes you don't get to enjoy something how you'd like to, and that can suck. But yeah, I know what you're talking about, and that can be a great stress reliever. But I'll let that be to you. Vsauce is the goat, the greatest of all time. He really is. I love his YouTube channel. I wouldn't say he's my favorite YouTuber, but he's definitely top 5. Have you ever heard XXX Tentacion music? Yes, I have heard one or two of his songs. I've never been an avid listener of him or a fan even, but I know who he is and I understand why people like him. I respect his work, but that's about all I can say about him. Yeah, I've been watching Vsauce since Super Tasks, I think. Oh, I've been watching you. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. I've been watching Vsauce for so long. It's been, oh boy, years. Like, at least 4 years. I'm not gonna lie. It's been that long. And yeah, Super Tasks. That's one of my favorite videos. So about 2 years. Yeah. You deserve way more views and subs than you do. Oh, thank you. That's a wow. That's what a username. That's something. Well, again, I already addressed the idea of what I deserve and what I don't deserve. But if people want to support me, that's up to them. I can't force anybody to do that, and I don't think you should either. If you want to support me, that's great. I love that. That's awesome. Homecoming is today, and I told my friend I would go if my mom was here, and she came back, so I can't really do stuff right now, and now I feel bad. I know I can go. I know I can go now, but I really don't want to. If you don't want to, then just don't go, dude. It's really that simple. Willie Mac Show is great. I love him, dude. He's a great friend. Awesome guy. He's really interesting, and I think that's one of his strongest traits, just the fact that he can break down a situation and talk about it for so long. I love that about him, because he can just talk, and he gets really invested in the situations, and I love it. It's awesome. Talk about Dolan Dark. Well, Dolan Dark, he's a cool one, because he makes all the Vsauce memes, and those are hilarious. My favorite are the out-of-context Vsauce memes. Those are great. Please don't ever give up on doing YouTube. No, dude, of course I won't. Even if I have another job or something like that, that's totally cool. Like, if I have to work in a different career or something like that, and I have to make money a different way, which I'm not even really making money on YouTube, like $4 a month, but that's about it. Anyway, even if that were the case, my uploads would slow down. That's uncertain. Like, that's certain. But the only thing that wouldn't stop is the fact that I'd be uploading, because I enjoy this too much. It's too much fun. I love it. What are your thoughts on YouTube? Oh, I have a lot to say about YouTube. I don't think I could actually do the whole opinion piece on YouTube all at once in this single live stream, but it's great. I love it. But it can also be horrible. It can be really bad sometimes. Top 10 biggest unsolved mysteries. Louis Skaya's room. Well, you'll have to wait another time to see that. Good evening, Fortniters. Yeah, are you kidding me? The Fortniters are here. I'm dumb and tired. Jeez, Lewis. Well, hey, Dre. All right, being tired doesn't necessarily mean you need to typo. Put typos in your message. Why would you do that on purpose? Why would you purposely typo your message? That doesn't make any sense. I don't understand you, Dre. And plus, you're tired. Fix your sleeping schedule. That's the answer. You see, this is what I'm talking about. Documentary was dope as S my N. Need to watch it when I'm more chill. Yeah, dude. I think watching it a second time will boost your appreciation for it if you couldn't have watched it in a proper mindset. The wife took the kids. Oh crap! I'm sorry about that, dude. Is the wife the good one or the bad one? It really depends, because it depends on the situation. Willie Mac Show, Colossal is Crazy, Nerd City, and iDubbbz are the only YouTube channels that make exposed type videos I still like. Colossal is Crazy never uploads though. Yeah, I mean, to a certain extent, I can't say that I've ever actually enjoyed the commentaries exposed videos though. A lot of it was really stupid, even back, in 2016 when it was like at its prime, right? And I never liked that, because the whole idea of cutting other people, let's just say backstab. I know it's not necessarily backstab, but well, okay, I'll just use the term exposed. What am I talking about? The whole idea of exposing someone just seems ludicrous to me, because the idea that criticism is going to be the sole thing that helps our society is odd. I find that idea odd because I think just as an effective method is to lift up the positive, to look at the positive. Because if you started, imagine if everybody started ignoring the bad stuff, and all they did was focus on the good things. What if everybody started going to good movies? Would there be any bad movies anymore? You see, the point that I'm making is just that criticism can be entertaining. It really can. It's fun and it's good for the mind sometimes. But if that's all it is, if that's the whole world and that's the whole community you live in, criticism isn't really all that worth it. You need to have a balance. You need to criticize and uplift. I mostly do uplifting. That's kind of what this channel is about. I like talking about things and giving people credit for their work. Dab. I agree. Lemino effing follows you. Holy S. Yeah, he does actually. It blew my mind. It was incredible. I was very awestruck in a very fanboyish type way, but I'm over it. I think I've learned to treat bigger YouTubers with the same amount of respect as I would treat, say, a friend or someone that's not even popular. Because honestly, numbers don't matter. They're still normal human beings, just as I am to you and you are to me. We are not different because I have nearly 2,000 subscribers. You guys are on the same level as me. I don't even know if you're smarter or dumber than me. I don't know you. But look, you guys are in the chat affecting who I am, and I think that's awesome. So let's see. Unpopular opinion. iDubbbz is overrated. He isn't perfect, just like the rest of us, but yet people blindly follow literally anything he says, no matter what it is. You're right about that. Now, I like iDubbbz. I think he's a great YouTuber. I think he makes really good content, and he has a lot of things that can be said about him, in regard, like positively, that is. But one of the things you can't say about him is criticism. It's really hard to find a proper criticism of him because his character is so solid, just as it has been for many years at this point, and that's really hard to criticize. Now, if your opinion is merely that he's overrated, or that he's... If your opinion is just that you think he's not as good as people say, then that's, at the end of the day, an opinion. If a lot of people really like him, there's probably something of value there. But at the end of the day, you have to accept that opinions are opinions. If a lot of people like them, that's fine. Actually, that's a good thing. But, you know, that doesn't mean you have to like him. My name is Connor. I'm the android sent by Cyberlife. Not really sure what that is. Crippled Mexican. I agree. He isn't perfect. I just generally find him entertaining. No, I don't think any person is perfect. Like, any normal person. That doesn't make sense. And of course, flaws can be subjective. I think that's something that a lot of people need to take into account. But, you know, I'm just saying, when people say he's perfect, I think they're mostly referring to his ability to avoid criticism. And I do have a few things that I disagree with him on, but I don't think I could criticize him for them, because they're his opinion, and he's allowed to have that. Which is better, KFC or Popeyes? Well, I've never actually been to a Popeyes. I've been to KFC, but I've never, like I said, been to a Popeyes. I don't need to repeat myself. So I can't really make a statement about that, because I don't know what Popeyes tastes like. How much anxiety medicine do you have to take to stay sane editing that video? No, dude, I don't take any medicine. None at all. I mean, vitamins don't count as medicine. I take those sometimes, but that's about it. And no anxiety medicine. The key is to enjoy it. Alright, if you're editing jump cuts the whole time, that's boring. That is really boring. Instead, what you have to do is you have to make content that changes, that's got something of value to it every time, that's making that video specifically unique and different from the rest of your work. That's what I love about my channel. It's not repeats over and over again. I don't feel like I'm doing the same thing every time, and I want to expand that. I want to make more artistically creative videos. I want to try to figure out what I can do to make my content even more different, which, while it may alienate the audience, this, at the end of the day, is for fun. And if it's not fun for me anymore, then I'm not going to do it. Only issue with your video was that It didn't say Yellow Syrup and Lewex presents instead of just Lewex, or at least with association with Yellow Syrup after that, SMH. Well, to be fair, I think you... you see, I might have undercredited you in certain aspects, which, because you did help with the writing, mostly. That was your biggest contribution. You helped pick out the thumbnail, which I still made the thumbnail. I made all the thumbnails, and I had them sent to quite a few different people, actually. I had at least 10 people vote on those. But the thing is, you deserve credit. You absolutely did stuff, but no, you are not presenting the video. You are not, and like, it's not in association with you. Well, I mean, yes, it is. You deserve credit for your work. It's not like it's your product. You helped with it, but it's not yours. And I think that's the key difference there. All right, Turkey Tom or Ellis Mark. I don't actually watch Ellis Mark, so I'll have to say Turkey Tom. But at the same time, this is the same sort of thing that I ran into the Popeyes and KFC issue, which is basically just that because I haven't experienced one, I can't make a judgment about which I like better. So I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to forfeit that question. We're fighting next time. We're fighting next time. I see you in VC. All right, Dre. Don't ask me about Turkey Tom. Yeah, let's not get into that. Loved the doc, by the way. Seems you're getting really professional. Well more than you were, but all around good job, Skya. Well, yeah, I'm glad you liked it, dude. That's awesome. Are you excited for Smash Ultimate? I know it's a mixed bag from what I've seen. What? A mixed bag? Are you kidding me? That's like the best game they've ever made from Nintendo. They have added every character from Smash Bros. In there. Like, we aren't worthy. We are not worthy. Alright. I said actual issues with your video at all. Nope, no way. I said no actual issues with your video at all. Nope, no way. Yeah, there are issues with my video. That's undoubtable. I've noticed many things that I would have changed if I could have gone back. But the fact is, after loading more than 1,000 files, more than 2,000 files into my editing program, it was lagging so hard by the end of it that it was impossible to edit. I had to be very careful about what I did, and it was very problematic, actually. You see, every time I'd split an object or add some random animation, it would crash. Like, and that's not every time. I lied when I said that. But it was one of those things where it would crash all the time. When I was, like, past the hour mark, it started crashing all the time. I'd make one split, I'd have to wait, like, a minute. And then I could use the editing program again. And it was tough. I'm actually surprised I made it through. It was weird because it slowly started lagging more and more. Like, it wouldn't lag, and then by the end of the project, it started lagging a whole bunch. And I don't really understand why. Maybe there's, like, a maximum limit that the program can handle of how many files it does, but I don't know. Alright, what camera do you have? Web, hey Leafy, haha. Yeah, is that this? Like the thumbnail that I did? And, what's up, Cade? What's up, Synstatic? And yes, it's a Logitech. That's, my camera's a Logitech. I don't know which one specifically, so don't ask me. What will we see in future content? Well, more stuff. Oh, oops, I scrolled too far down. I'm sorry. You can expect more. You know, I should probably. I wonder if I should. I don't want to skip anything, but I think that's. Oh no, that's a problem. I don't want to skip anything in the chat. Oh boy. All right. What will we see in future content? Well, I want to do more. I would like to do. Okay, I've mentioned this earlier in the stream, but I have 4 scripts written, and each one of them are slightly different in their own way. One of them is kind of motivational. One of them is kind of instructional. One of them is just thought-provoking, and one of them is like analysis. There's all sorts of different stuff, and that's, I think, a problem with my channel because not everybody's always interested in that. But I think in doing whatever I want, the focus is more so on me and less so on what I'm talking about. And I think that's an important connection to have when you're creating a YouTube channel, because if what they care about is me talking about a YouTuber, like another YouTuber, a documentary, for example, then the focus isn't on me. And not that I care. Well, I mean, I do care because I've made a video about it. I would like people to think of me more when they think Lewex, or when they think the documentary series, I want them to think of me, because what I want most is to present content that is unique. Uniquely entertaining, I should say. And I don't want to make content that feels like anybody else could have made it. If anybody else could have made it, then it's not worth it, in my opinion. And that's one of those things where if I'm making content that other people can make, then other people should make that, because they can probably do it better than I can. And I'd like to be, I guess the best at my game. That's a really horribly egotistical thing, but I mean in the sense of my game, not the YouTube game. I'm not trying to compete with everybody. Instead, what I want to do is I want to be the best that I can be, and I want to give you guys the best content that I can give you. And yeah, I know that delays things sometimes, but it's one of those things that I'm just working on. So depends on what you think bad is. I suppose you were probably responding to something that I said, and I don't think that got lost in I think that got lost in context. More docs. Next question, please. I got kicked out of Lamino Discord server by his fans because I'm young. I don't know. I feel like if you get kicked from a server, there's got to be more reasoning than that. Now, there are horrible admins. That's not a lie. There are very, very horrible admins in Discord servers at points. But to be kicked because you're young, I wonder if there's more to it than that, or if there is like solid reasoning behind that, like they wanted to discuss more mature topics, or they didn't want. I'm sorry, I don't know. I can't help you with that. I am in the Discord server, but I'm not active in there, and people don't really pay attention to me, so I don't know what to tell you. Hey Lewis. Hey Mr. Mario. Shock, you sure? Again, it's one of those things where you guys are kind of responding to me in real time at points, and then I'm... Yeah, it's... if things get lost in context, I can't respond. Leafy is here. Hello, senor? I'm bad at Spanish. I don't do Spanish. But hello, Ghost Gaming and stuff. Leafy is here. Yes. Everybody do the Leafy thing. Nah. Grandma asked how my lunch tasted, and I said how does this right hook taste, and decked her out at Thanksgiving in front of the whole family. You are a horribly disgusting person. I hope that... okay, I'm not going to continue that. Acknowledge me, senpai. Hi, how do you say your name? Postlix? Postlix247. What you doing? What's up? How you going? A-time. I don't know what that means. What do you think about Leafy? People always act like he's a bully, but then they turn around and watch all those other commentators who do the same stuff Leafy did. LOL. Well, alright. I have an opinion about Leafy, which is basically that the best thing Leafy ever did was be responsible for the content cop on him and the Emperor Lemon video on him. Because Leafy himself, well, behind the scenes, he's a really interesting person. He's got a lot going on. One of those aspects that I think is really, really interesting is just the fact that he has a lot of money, but he doesn't do anything with it. He doesn't buy nice cars. He doesn't buy a nice house. No, apparently he lives a very small life. And that's forwarded by people like Tommy C, who's talked to Leafy on occasion and actually gotten to know him. And it's one of those things where that kind of concept is interesting to me. Because, of course, I'd be the same way. I don't like the idea of spending my money on a bunch of... I call them useless, because it's just... if it goes beyond its use, then it's pointless to have more money be spent on something. But anyway, the best thing that Leafy ever did was give us the Emperor Lemon documentary on him and the content cop on him, because those are two of the most entertaining videos I've ever watched on this website. They're just beautiful things. So Leafy is, as a point of discussion, has been amazing for YouTube. I love the things that people have talked about him. It's awesome. It's 4:09 a.m. here. I have to go to Spain in 12 hours. I need to sleep. FML. Well, go to sleep. You don't have to be watching my stream, dude. Speaking of creativity, what do you think of doing series like what Vsauce does? are you like, do you mean it in the way of saying, what do I think of making educational content? Because if that's the case, I'd love to. That would be amazing. But the thing is, I put too much of my own opinion in there, and I think some of the stuff that I'm working on is sort of educational in a way. I've actually included a bit of facts and interesting things that you can do online now, guys. Ha! No, actually, you can't do them online. But I've included some facts and interesting things that I find interesting within two of the script, or at least two of the. I can't believe I just said two and I held up 3 fingers. Okay, forget that. I've included a few interesting facts in at least two of the scripts that I have written out of the 4. I swear, I don't know what my fingers are doing, but out of the 4 scripts that I've written, at least 2 of them are very much factual, and they try to just deal with facts and educate on the 2 topics. A lot of other stuff, though, is opinionated, and making stuff specifically like Vsauce, it could be fun. I might try it. I don't know. I don't want to be called a Vsauce clone because that format, I understand, is very associated with Vsauce, and I think if I were to do something really similar to that, it would be comparison. And I do like doing my own thing. That is a very important thing to me. And Crippled Mexican, to be honest, Leafy was worse. He was, to a certain extent, but then I think there is certain parallels between a lot of the modern commentators and, well, like the reaction commentators and Leafy of the past. The title, Cat, yes, they call me stupid and autistic kid. The tilted cat. I said the title, Cat. That's not the... Okay, the tilted cat, yes, they... Oh, I see. He was responding to the tilted kid. He says, yes, they call me stupid and autistic kid. Well, I'm not really sure what that's about. If that's the moderators, you should definitely contact someone about that. I was kidding about the whole thing. I don't know. You gave me enough credit. You could have. All right. I don't know when you're joking sometimes or not because, honestly, it's hard to tell in text. That's one of the hardest things. Just reading somebody's messages, and if they're being sarcastic or making a joke, it can be tough. I can catch that a lot more when I'm speaking to somebody, but not so much when it's in text. Let's see. How come your thumbnail to Vsauce documentary is different than the other documentary videos? I'm not sure specifically what you mean. I'm guessing the art style is a little bit different and it's more simplified. Basic answer. It's just that I made a bunch of thumbnails. Actually, I might release those at some point. But I made around 7 or 8 thumbnails for the Vsauce documentary because I really wanted to get experimental and see what people would like. I sent them to a bunch of friends and I asked their opinion on them. The one that I chose for the Vsauce documentary was the one that most people enjoyed and thought looked good. So that's why I chose it. And that could be the answer that I'd give. So let's see. I'm extremely hyped for the game, but I'm talking about other people. I'm not sure. Oh, regarding Smash Bros? Because if that's the case, then I didn't know that other people find it, what, underwhelming, was it that you said? I'm not actually sure what you said. I can't remember specifically. Hey, what's up? How you doing? Let's see, that's Ashwat Thama. Oh boy, I cannot read. I'm sorry about that. Internet Unwind. Wouldn't it have been better to render it in 4 sections if the computer couldn't handle the whole thing in one go? Well, a lot of it was not necessarily about rendering, but just about what it could do in the time that I had. And I didn't want to render it in different parts because it would compress the video in weird ways, but I ended up having to just render it in 2 parts and then render them back together because the video kept crashing at 88.6%. And that sucked because I tried rendering the video twice and it took like 12 hours each time, but it crashed both times and that sucked. So I had to figure out a different way to render and publish it. That's all I can say. Well, actually no, because the question is more so why didn't I edit it in different parts instead of all in one go? I'm not really sure. I suppose I could have, but I like seeing the whole editing timeline. I like being able to grab from previous clips or go back for a reference. So there is a certain bit of, like, I like being able to go back and edit something if I realize that I missed something. Because, you see, there was this one thing. When I talked about the Curiosity Box, and I was talking about the video that he introduced it in, I said that he introduced it in the video Alzheimer's and the Brain. That was the video I said Michael introduced the Curiosity Box in. But he didn't. He introduced it in a video called How the Earth Moves. And I had to go back and edit that. I had to actually re-record a new take of that clip from the video, and I had to put it back in because I got the video wrong. I didn't find out until later. So that's a good reason not to have edited over it or rendered over it and then put it back, because that would have been more permanently wrong, I guess. I could still do it, but whatever. Okay, so there might have been a good reason either way. Contact, let me know. Alright, well, that's, you're talking to that other guy. Scott, I wish, no, wait. I was talking more about your, the camera you used in your second channel. The DSLR one. Whoa, it was not a DSLR, dude. That was, where is it? You want to know what that camera was? Yeah, that was, oh, I got a notification. That's this. This thing right here. You know what this is? This is not a phone. This is not any sort of communication device. Well, that's a lie, actually. I don't know why I said that. I'm trying to underplay it, but basically, this is just my iPod. It's the latest iPod that's came out. I don't have a phone, actually. That's a fun fact about me. I have never had a phone in my life. And I have had this for about a bit more than a year now, actually. More than 400 days. That's guaranteed. But this is what I recorded it on. I used this camera here on the front, specifically. I didn't use the inner camera, because the inner camera... I don't want to reveal my, like, streaming code accidentally. Hold on, let me just... Alright, it's not revealed, because, like, you can see in the reflection. But yeah, I just used the camera on my iPod to record that video. And you can do certain things where you select what it's focused on, and it made it look alright. Okay, let's see, what was next? A documentary on Lewex. That would be cool, but it would have to be like a special. Like, let's say I hit 100,000 subscribers, and then it's like, alright, the Lewex documentary. The thing is, it would be one of the longest documentaries, aside from the Vsauce documentary, that I've ever made, because I have so much history online. There is so much stuff that I've done and left public. Everything that I've done is out there. Sort of. I mean, there are certain things that I did take back. I think I deleted a channel at one point, but I've done so much on my time online that covering all of that would take maybe like an hour or 45 minutes or something like that. But it would be an interesting story. I wouldn't mind telling it, but it would be a little bit weird telling it from my own perspective, because there's an easy accusation that you could make, which is basically just that I am biased, or that I am presenting my own history in a glorified manner. You could call it an autobiography, but if people want to see it, maybe. It's just there is that possibility of the accusation. Do I take responsibility for my own bias? Because I might see one thing as bad, whereas another person might see it as good or anything else. Because I know a lot of people like getting on me about the fact that I don't play, like, I don't like to give my videos a lot of credit. And some people don't like that, because they're like, dude, you make really good stuff and you should be really proud of it. You should be bragging about this. And it's like, no. And I wonder almost if I would overplay it or downplay it, because I can't judge the quality of my content, because it's mine. Anyway, so maybe at one point. The interesting thing about Leafy is when Tommy C said that Emp Lemon's second video that Leafy just views YouTube as game. Yeah, I think Emperor Lemon and Tommy were both dead on about that. Leafy very much just sees it as a game, and I remember Tommy C talking about it at one point, saying that YouTube was one of those things that Leafy wanted to do every day, but the idea that the daily grind was over, because, you know, YouTube favors longer content that's pushed out slightly less frequently, like maybe once or twice a week sort of a thing. Because YouTube favors that nowadays, it just turned Leafy off to the whole game altogether, because it really was just one of those things where he didn't feel like that was good enough. He liked the idea that it's different from television. You have to put content out every single day, no matter what. Like, you get burnt out, you gotta keep going. And it's interesting that he has that mindset, because I kind of share that to a similar extent. I like doing stuff every day. I like trying to get work done on my stuff all the time. I don't really take too many breaks, but, you know, I'll take breaks to talk to friends and stuff. And YouTube pretty much just is a game. There are so many things to figure out about it. People are constantly talking about it. And it really depends on your definition of a game. That's really all I can say. How's it going? That's RT Luigi. Hey, what's up? How you doing, dude? Hope you're good. Let's see. Shock Vivo. What are your opinions on Smosh? You see, I used to watch Smosh. I thought they were funny. Then I unsubscribed to them once they started making content that I didn't enjoy. That's about it. My question meant, what do you think of the Uniform series in general? Wait, what? My question meant, what do you think of the Uniform series in general, with a name and all, like a Let's Plays or TV? Like a Let's Play or TV series? I'm trying to understand the question here, and I'm reading Synthetatic's question. Okay, my question meant, what do you think of a Uniform series in general, with a name and all, like Let's Plays or a TV series? Do you mean what do I think of educational content in general? Because, I mean, I think if that's what you're asking, and I'm sorry if I'm like not understanding your question here, because education is a genre on YouTube. I find that a lot of people like just sticking with the common consensus. Nobody likes exploring outside of the popular opinion. And I find that really disappointing, because so much is unknown. You know, a lot of people like to treat science as this really calculated and understood thing, but so much of the universe isn't understood. With every one question you answer, 10 more arise. I don't remember who said that, but it is one of those things where the more we discover, the more we question. And there are so many questions about the universe, and there are so many things that have changed in science over time that they can be talked about. But a lot of people like to stick to classical ideas, and it's kind of weird, actually, because what they've been taught in terms of even just, let's say, history, for example, or psychology, a lot of things that you're taught aren't always true, whether it be in public school or by your parents. So I think they should have more exploration and view things on more sides. In fact, I've thought about making a series on my channel at one point. This is just an idea that I had. I don't know if I'd dedicate the time to do all the research, but I was thinking of making a series called A New Perspective. The idea was or like both perspectives, one or the other name, but the idea was to take a controversial subject, like, let's say, a lot of conspiracy theories or political stances, and just break down both sides. Because I'm under the mindset that most people are reasonable. Most people have reasons why they believe something. Even those, crazy, kooky, like tinfoil hat conspiracy theorists, it's like, no, there's a reason they believe that stuff. And maybe their reason isn't valid, but that doesn't mean that doesn't mean the things that they believe that doesn't mean everything that they believe isn't true. Because if you believe that, say for example, 9/11 was an inside job, there are bits of evidence that are questionable. It's like, wait, was it? There are questions that you have to ask about certain pieces of evidence. Sometimes things aren't as clear cut as they want to be made out to be. Now, that's not me giving an opinion on 9/11. Let's not confuse that, because I don't know enough about that subject, and I don't want to get caught up in some sort of ring of, oh, he thinks this or he thinks that, and I don't know. So that's all I have to say about that. I think there are a lot more perspectives out there and a lot more ways to look at something. You see 6, I see 9. Oh wait, we're just standing on two sides of a number. It's the same symbol, but it's two different perspectives, and we're trying to both claim that it's the truth. Alright, I spent a long time on that. Are you an epic gamer? Well, not really. I play Fortnite. Let's see. Crippled Mexican. Am I the only one who thinks it's weird that most people loved Leafy until the content cop? iDubbbz made a great video without a doubt, but the stuff he criticized Leafy for was stuff we knew before. That's an interesting way to look at it, but I think how he calculated that move so perfectly. Like, all right, Leafy had an open chance to be, like, he had an open chance to recover. He had an open spot. iDubbbz went easy on someone. But because iDubbbz predicted how he would react, iDubbbz knew what he was going to do. So what he did was he took Leafy's format in a sense. He still did the iDubbbz stuff, right? But he took Leafy's style of making fun of someone for their appearance. That's what Leafy does. That's all he does. And the biggest thing was just Leafy has a weak chin. iDubbbz proved that Leafy is insecure about that because of how he responded to that. You see, if Leafy would have gone with the joke, it's like, yeah, I have a weak chin, but then it wouldn't be a problem because we would know that he's not insecure about it. But instead, iDubbbz even showed evidence that he was insecure about it, and Leafy still reacted to it as if it was like really big criticism when he was just trying to make a joke about him. And I think a lot of the reason why people love that so much is because he didn't necessarily bring up specific issues, like bullet point issues about Leafy, but instead managed to play his own game in a way that made people realize that Leafy is, like, he can't take what he, like, you know the phrase, you can't, what is it? Don't dish what you can't take, or something like that. Basically, he couldn't take what he gives to other people all the time, because Leafy always made fun of people. Leafy was always just, looking at their appearance and being like, oh, like, oh, he's ugly, or look at his face, he's a 35-year-old man, like all that stuff, right? And he would just make fun of people, and iDubbbz did that same exact thing to him, but he responded in such a poor way. And I think that was kind of the beauty of it, because iDubbbz just knew what he was going to do. And I think how precise he did that. I think there's a lot to break down about that video that isn't just bullet points like the Rice Gum one, which is actually kind of interesting. I think I like the Leafy, I almost said Leafy documentary. I think I actually like the Leafy content cop more than the Rice Gum one, because the Rice Gum one was very straightforward. It was like, look, he's a bad person. He did these bad things. Okay. That's clear. If you watch any one of his videos, or, well, I shouldn't say any one of his videos, but if you have been watching Rice Gum over time, you can kind of realize these tropes that tend to show up over time. So, it's one of those things where iDubbbz just constructed that video so perfectly, and I think that's why a lot of people like it. Anyway, okay, what's this? So he's explaining his name here. So Ashwatthama, I'm just gonna say that, is Hindu for mythological character, and I find him a bad A, even though I'm an atheist. Okay. That's all. Sorry for my poor reading at that point. I've been reading these so long. For some reason, I have a weird thing about reading for a long time. I can read short and quick, but I can't always read for a long time. So anyway, and I've been talking for a while, so I'm kind of losing it now. Do you know Damp Broadcast? Oh yeah, he's a good friend of mine, actually. Paul, yeah, me and Paul talk all the time. I shouldn't say all the time, but fairly frequently, I should say. Let's see. So get someone else to do the Lewex documentary, make it into a collab. I mean, he'd have to, whoever that person would be would have to make it on their own. I don't know if I could direct him at all, because if I did, then again, you could still accuse me of being biased towards myself. But that's an idea, I suppose. If somebody else wants to make it, I'll let them do it, because I know a lot of people love making parodies or whatever, or homages and, that kind of stuff. If I ever did become popular or whatever, I'm pretty sure someone would probably want to do something along those lines. That's assuming a lot of a fan, so I'm not going to say that they would, or that I want them to, or whatever. People can do whatever they want, alright? I don't think I'm going to make the Lewex documentary personally. The titled cat says, the beginner's guide kinda dives into the topic of what you are into the topic of that you are delusional if you don't like your own work. The beginner's guide, it kind of dives into the topic of that you are delusional if you don't like your own work. I don't think you're delusional. I think you're determined to give things better. Like, I think you're determined to... I'll put it like this. If you don't like your own work, you want to make better stuff, right? That's not necessarily a bad thing. Now, I'm proud of what I do. Okay, I'm really proud of what I do. I think it could be better. I actually realize that it can be better, and I understand that there's a certain artistic aspect to it that could be more unique to me. Something that could be more identifying. So I don't think that's a improper goal to search. I'm not going to just be okay with my content because it's delusional or whatever, to think that I shouldn't be. I'm always going to strive for better videos. But I can also respect the work that I do. I just don't like the idea that I could give myself praise in a place that doesn't deserve it. Because I don't think that much comes from praising yourself. A lot of bad things come from hating on yourself, and I would never recommend that. Because a lot of people like to say, oh, I'm ugly and whatever else. But saying that stuff conditions you to be that in the future. So don't say it. I know that my content isn't bad. In fact, I put more effort into my stuff than the majority of YouTubers do. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that, but there's a certain consensus that you have to have that for each individual video, I put more effort in. Or at least I put more time in. Effort is a weird word because it can be like, oh, what is effort if you haven't tried everything? Anyway, okay. But... yeah, I've heard of that though. The Beginner's Guide. Is that a book, or I've heard that title. I know that that's something. Okay, so let's see. On to this one. Let Lewex be Lewex first. He's learning and evolving. Give him time. A documentary now will be rushed. Well, yeah, I give myself time. I don't think anybody else has to. RT Luigi says, doing pretty well. Well, that's good, actually. I'm glad you are. I know a lot of people have problems in life, and, well, you're probably one of them, because we all do. But it's good to hear that you're doing good right now. Let's see, the title, The Tilted Cat. I mean, the game itself kind of shows both perspectives on work. The game itself kind of shows both perspectives on work. I mean... Oh, is that what it is? The Beginner's... Oh, that's what it was. It was a game. Yeah, the Beginner's Guide is a game. Ah, okay. Let's see. One person wants to show it to the world while the other wants to delete it. I would never delete my work. I think even the videos that I'm not proud of, I still upload because I think people deserve to see them. I was really disappointed when I found out that Jake Roper from Vsauce 3 has actually deleted multiple videos of his that he just didn't upload because he wasn't quite proud of them. And that really upset me because regardless of how good they are, I still would have enjoyed watching them because it's him. It's interesting to people that don't understand the topic, and I think he should have uploaded those videos regardless. I do believe that you're only as good as your last video, but that's one of those things where if you upload a bad video, it should be on the public so that way, if you get criticism for it, you extra learn from your mistakes. I say you should learn from your mistakes, but that doesn't mean deleting a video. That means accepting and taking in the criticism that you would possibly get, which someone like Jake Roper from Vsauce 3 wouldn't get any anyway, so I don't think that it's going to be a problem for him. But if he's not satisfied with it, I get it. You know, he wants to make really good stuff, and he works really, really hard on his stuff. He works harder on his stuff than I work on mine, I guess. But, you know, it's one of those things where if you're not satisfied, it's hard to go through with it, and I get that. Work being a self-made book or video, anything. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Opinion on Spider-Man. I love the movies, except for the Amazing Spider-Man trilogy. Not trilogy, but like the two Amazing Spider-Man movies. I like the original I like the original trilogy, and I like Homecoming. I haven't played the games, so I can't give it much of an opinion on that. I think they handled Spider-Man really, really well in the MCU. I really like that character, maybe even better than Tobey Maguire, but I grew up with those movies, so it's hard to say. I need to watch them again at some point. So let's see. This is like a chill conversation, enjoying the stream. Well, hey, that's awesome. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, people say that I'm like chill sometimes, and I guess I get that because I'm not all crazy and screaming and wild like a lot of YouTubers are. But it's a lot of it's dragged back to my voice. I find in the comments, it's one of those weird things where some people like my voice or they don't like my voice. And it's like it's either really boring or really relaxing. It's really chill or it's not worth anybody's time. And it's like, all right, split the opinions. So put a 1 in the chat if you like my voice and a 2 in the chat if you don't like it. Let's see. But yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying the stream. Delete self-made. Oh, okay. A 9/11 was an inside job. Or was it? Vsauce music plays. Yeah. You see, that's the kind of stuff I'd love to see from him, though. If he took a video, made a video about 9/11 and showed the two perspectives, I think that would be so cool. Like, you know, that's interesting because that's controversial. I mean, it opens him up to criticism, and he's been very good about having a strong public image. I realize that. You cannot criticize Vsauce for very many things. But I think it would be cool. I like that. I think he could make videos on... I think he could make pretty even videos on stuff like that. Let's see. Look at that face. He has a rapist face. Look at that dumb rapist face. That's my favorite Leafy line. He's a 34-year-old man! Yeah. That's my second favorite. Second favorite line. Paul. I love Paul. CED for life. Yeah, pretty much. Logan Paul. Not that Paul. Cursed, says Cade, Synthetic. I'm not sure who you're saying is cursed. I'm pretty sure it's a Logan Paul thing. But Josh is broken is funny. You see, I've talked to Josh. I wouldn't necessarily consider him a good friend because I don't talk to him enough. And he's fun to talk to. I mean, he's interesting. He's got some interesting ideas. I think he's a pretty level-headed person. But yeah, I mean, he's pretty funny. He has some interesting insight on stuff, and I think the only thing that he could really do better with his videos at the current moment is just buy a new camera. But that's one of those things where it's not really effort. It's not additional effort that he could put in. It's just one of those things where as soon as he has enough money, then he can do it. So aside from that, I think he has a very unique style to him, and I haven't seen much like him. So that's a good part on him. So Synthetic says, on YouTube views, go to personality greater than quality. Wait, on YouTube views? What do you mean like that? So quality is better than personality. I don't know, because sometimes your personality can be the quality. Look at people like, what's his name? Reporter of the Week? Review Bra? I think that's how you say his name. He is entirely personality based, and I know a lot of channels that are personality based. And I'm not really sure what the point you're trying to make there. I think it just has to do with your wording. I'm not understanding it for some reason. Who are your favorite channels? Right now, my favorite channel is a YouTuber named Mama Max. But he hasn't been uploading. He's been gone because he's been, I don't know what's up with him, man. He has a job, I know that. YouTube doesn't support him because he's not making enough money off of it. And he's trying to support his family. Like, he doesn't have kids and a wife. I mean, like, his mom and dad, I believe he still lives with them. So he has 1 or 2 jobs, something like that. So it's one of those things where I'm waiting for him to upload again. And he posted on Twitter today. And he posted a little picture of him with like his outfit, and he said coming soon, and it made me so happy. I'm so excited to see that. iNabra is boring in my that was my favorite channel, but you asked favorite channels. So there's Mama Max, but also Vsauce, because Vsauce is obviously he's one of my favorites. I'm really happy that I made that video on him. iDubbbz, I love iDubbbz because I like analyzing his character. I think he says a lot of really smart things. I don't really care for his humor as much as a lot of people do. It's very vulgar, and I understand the appeal of that for some people, but sometimes it's like just so ridiculous to me, and it does make me laugh. But it's one of those things where I like what he said. Like, I like his criticisms more than I like his comedy. But that's just kind of a me thing. I'm not a very funny person, in my opinion. I know a lot of people like to get on me about that. Specifically, my friend Johnson. He's like, "You can be funny. You should do comedy." And I'm like, "Ooh, boy, I tried that before on a different channel called Lewis Sky Gaming, and it did not go out so that well. So, hey." But it's one of those things where I think if I started adding comedy to my videos, it wouldn't really turn out all that great because I'm not the most comedic person. I don't have the best comedic taste, and it is a certain personality trait that I think I have to develop. Certainly, it's one of those things that I'm aware of, but I haven't really gotten around to because I don't know how jokes work. I think really all it is just that I have to consume more comedic content. I think that's the big thing for me. What did I go off about? Yeah, so iDubbbz, he's the third one. Fifth one, I guess probably someone like Lemino. He makes some of my favorite content out there. And there are some really, really good creators out there, and it's hard to pick. It's hard to pick them sometimes because there's so many. But I mean, I know which ones I'd pick if I had to choose my all-time favorites. But there was a channel by the name Kabana456 that maybe some of you know. I used to watch him all the time, and for the majority of the time that I've been on YouTube, he was my favorite content creator. He made Let's Plays on video games like the Sonic and Nintendo stuff, right? And I liked him a lot because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do Let's Plays, and when I started watching YouTube for the first time, like consistently, he's the first YouTuber I ever started actively watching. Like, I had seen YouTube videos, but I had never been watching a YouTuber. So he was the first one that I ever started watching, and that was way back in, I think, 2012, 2011, something like that. And I've been watching him for a long time, but then he quit because he's run into a lot of mental issues, and I feel bad for him, and I don't really know what he's going to do about that. So, I mean, since then, I did lose interest in his content a while ago, like more than a year ago, but only because I was kind of moving away from the interest of video games and more towards the interest of, I guess, philosophy and just thought in general, like the idea of thinking and analyzing things, critique, and all that cool stuff. So, yeah, let's see. iNabber is boring in my opinion. I'm not actually subscribed to iNabber because of that. Now, I don't think he makes bad videos. He definitely has some very well presented content, but I just don't enjoy his stuff because I'm not really all that big into commentary. Now, I like a lot of the personalities in commentary. I think they'd be really fun to talk to and engage with, but I don't think their content usually has anything new that I specifically can think about. And that's why I like people like iDubbbz or Colossal is crazy. They provide something new. They give me something else to think about. You see, Kavos makes his 10 videos on rice gum, and it's like, he's a bad person. It's like, okay, alright, you're really mad about this. You're very passionate about it. You clearly have a lot of strong opinions against him. And you say the same thing over and over again. It's the same attitude towards rice gum. And that, I think, is the fatal flaw of Kavos, which is just that when he was making those videos, they were all identical. You could click on one and it was the same thing. But then iDubbbz comes along with his rice gum video, and it's really funny. It's really entertaining. And even though he pointed out a lot of the same criticisms, he delivered it in a way and presented it in a way that was enjoying. Like, I actually watched it and had fun. I can't do that with Kavos for some reason, because I say for some reason, but I'm pretty sure it's because his content is really repetitive. So, yeah, that's a thought. So someone, the Tilted Cat puts a 1. I don't want to try saying your name, dude. I don't want to butcher it more. Also puts a 1, and Cade Synthetic puts a 3. So, whatever that could mean, I don't know. Then Synth once again says, wait, I mean, to typo. I meant to type. I meant to type. Wait, I meant to type. I don't know what you mean by that. I mean, maybe you're continuing it? I'll get back to your comment in a minute. Okay, let's see. What did you think about the stuff Colossal said in the Emplemon vid on Leafy? That was really interesting, because I liked listening to him talk about all that. And I don't know. I mean, I didn't get too invested in the aftermath so much. I just liked the main video that was made on Leafy. I didn't pay too much attention to the second video that Emperor Lemon made on Leafy, even though it was also a good video. It wasn't the same in terms of presentation and everything. Hey Lewis, what do you think? Hey Lewis, what do you think? Don't hug me, I'm scared. Oh, what do you think of them? Because they're making new ones. If you don't know what Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared is, I'm sorry. I do, I do know what they are or who they are. But I've never really actively pursued their content. I've never really checked them out, so I can't really comment on what their new stuff is. I think it's interesting and it's definitely attention grabbing. It's something different and I like that. Alright, so Synth Static says personality over quality is what gets views. Okay, yeah, I think you did it like the opposite way. You were putting something like quality, but yeah, you are right. On YouTube, a lot of people will get more attached to a personality than an art style. So I think that's a pretty obvious one, and I have a video, or at least I have a script, talking about the dangers of getting attached to personalities on YouTube. And I mean, we'll see if that video comes out anytime soon or whatever, but that's a whole script that I have written. That's one of the, that's one of the things one of the 4 scripts that I've mentioned. So, but yeah, no, you're totally right. Personality beats out quality every time. And that's why I'm trying to put more of myself into my videos. So let's see. I don't like iNabber's videos, but I like his live streams, and Kavos is even more boring than iNabber in my opinion. Yeah, sometimes people's live streams can be more entertaining than their actual videos, because you see, in their actual videos, if it's boring in a way that's scripted, and if it's boring in a way that's like, this is a calculated move, this is presented extremely by them, and it's definitely like thought about a lot, then it might be boring because of that. And when you take someone and just put them in a natural environment where they have to speak from their natural instinct of speaking, it's a little bit different. It's not quite the same as just scripting everything you do, because then when you do that, you have control over what you say. You have less control over what you say when you're free talking, when you're just commentating freely. So on live streams, if you're interacting with the chat and things like that, it could actually be more authentic and more interesting because the person is being more real. There isn't a jump cut every sentence. And I think that's important. I think that's a really good way to connect with your subscribers. It's just to be real. Don't let your video be obviously a video. It needs to be more of a conversation. But that's only if you want more views. I'm saying that because I also don't like the idea of I don't like the idea of it being too real, because I don't like the idea that subscribers or my fans or any other fans will get too attached to the content creators they watch. I don't want you guys to react to my death in the same way you would react to a family member's death. Like, that's bad. That's really bad. Because there are so many YouTubers. There are incredibly, like, people watch a lot of YouTubers, right? And it's one of those things where if you get attached to too many of them, then it's like adding members to your family. And if you have the same sort of emotional reaction and emotional connection to them, then, especially when they don't love you back, they say they love you, but trust me, when somebody says they love you on YouTube to the camera, they don't love you. They love the support you've given them, but the only thing they know about you is that you're subscribed to them. Now that's all a topic for a different time, and that's kind of the main premise of the video I've written a script about, but something to think about. Let's see. So, Yellow Syrup says, what did you do? I don't know. Depends on what you're referring to. Kathy White says, hi. Hi, Kathy. How you doing? Sorry that I didn't reply to your thing right away. I just go in order. GameCube meme. Yeah, they're pretty good. I grew up playing the GameCube, so that's memorable to me. Synthstatic says, yeah, that was me using the wrong the greater than less than symbol. I gotcha. The Tilted Cat. What about ASMR? And wait, what about ASMR? Are you going to make a video about that? I'm not going to be making a video about ASMR. And I'll give you my opinion on ASMR right here. which is basically that it's awesome. Oh my gosh. I didn't know that it was a genre, right? Because I used to experience it all the time. Like, I've experienced it all throughout my life, just through different things. I remember I was with my neighbor once, because I had a neighbor friend that was my age, and I was young. And, you know, we were two young boys, we like messing around, whatever. And we had these Sharpies, and he was going to draw, like, this thing on my back. And I remember he just, you know, he was drawing this thing, and he was, like, just slightly talking. And it gave me, the most vivid feeling of ASMR. And I have had this feeling for so long, and I didn't realize that it was a whole thing that people experience. So when I found out that it was a genre, I was like, there's a whole bunch of this stuff. But the thing is, the market actually hasn't been expanded all that much, because ASMR is one of those things that you could expand. You see, it's more than just sounds. There is a physical aspect to it, and I'm not saying that you should, like, set up a shop for physical ASMR. I'm just talking about, like, if you have a friend or something that knows the right tricks or whatever. Because like I said, when I had my friend writing the marker on my back, or another one all the time, my mom would clean out my ears with the, you know, these, like, cotton swab things, and she would just, like, spin it in my ear or whatever, and then pull out the earwax. And that always gave gave me that feeling too. So it's not always about what you hear, and sometimes it's more about what you feel. So that's a whole thing that people don't talk about, because you can't put a feeling into a video. But anyway, I love ASMR. I'm not going to be making a video about it because I don't know what else I could say about it. I'm not sure what I can add to it, but it is an interesting topic. I know why people like it, and I think it has a lot of different applications and uses. It's a very interesting feeling, and I feel bad for those who don't actually feel and experience ASMR, because it's very nice. I know some people just use it to fall asleep, but do you get the tingles when you fall asleep like that? It doesn't make sense to me, so oh well. It can relax you though, certainly. Crippled Mexican. I enjoy a lot of YouTubers who don't have super high production value, but have a likable / honest personality. Yeah, there are a lot of YouTubers that are like that, which is what I mentioned about that other YouTuber, the Report of the Week. He doesn't cut his stuff at all. He doesn't do any editing whatsoever. But it's incredible, because he never says the word and he never has to repeat himself, and his speech is so perfect and clean, it's like he was reading from a script. Nothing he says is old or repeated. He can just say things that are new and interesting. He's a very unique personality, and I think that's pretty much the only reason he's popular, because I noticed that people that are unique a lot of times, or, well, the main things, you have to be unique, you have to be, you either have to be unique, charismatic, or what was the other one? Or just really good at your job, I suppose. But being unique or charismatic are the two biggest things about your personality that are going to help, because they can make you stand out, basically. You could say charismatic people are unique, but there are a lot of similar people that have a similar type of charisma. I've seen more than just one Logan Paul, you know, and his brother has a similar type of bombastic charisma, right? Anyway, but that's not unique. Someone like the Report of the Week, he's an extremely unique person, and I've never seen someone like him. Are you effing Nickelodeon Disney Channel, bruh? Is that the... Oh, that's... Alright, that's the Turkey Tom Keemstar thing. So, Bobby the Racist Apple says, I'll give you 3 YouTubers / YouTube channels, and can you give your opinion on them? 1 is Shane Dawson, 2 Tommy C, and 3 PewDiePie. Those are some good YouTubers that you've picked there. I watched all 3 of those, actually. So, okay, Shane Dawson. When he's making his documentary type stuff about YouTubers that I care about, or drama specifically that I care about, or whatever else, that is interesting to me. You see, okay, more than that, actually. I love his conspiracy stuff, and I started watching him because of his conspiracy stuff. My friend Kathy, she basically just got me into Shane Dawson. I had seen like 1 or 2 of his videos before then, but I didn't really get caught on his stuff. But his conspiracy videos, I loved those, because even though Bobby Burns had a bit of a problem with calling them conspiracies, which is debatable. I remember disagreeing with basically that whole video he made on Shane Dawson, and I didn't even watch Shane Dawson at the time. But it was one of those things where Bobby Burns made that video on him, and I was like, no, this is wrong. Why are you making fun of Shane? He's not doing anything wrong. He's not manipulating you. He's just using the wrong term. Anyway, I love Shane. He's great. He makes a lot of interesting content. I'm not actually the biggest fan of his personality so much. I just like the content he produces. I think he delivers things in a very interesting manner. 2, Tommy C. I love Tommy C. He's really good to put on in the background while editing or, doing some other kind of stuff. I think he's really funny. And I laugh at his callers all the time because he has one of the most insane fan bases. I'm not going to say what he calls his fan base because that's vulgar, but wow, what a guy. I don't strive to be him because I don't agree with a lot of what he says, but oh boy. Yeah, I would never want to grow up to be a Tommy C. I'll put it like that. But he's very entertaining. He's a very entertaining guy. 3 is PewDiePie. Well, I watch PewDiePie. He's one of those YouTubers that I just watch. That's about all I can say about him. I like him. He's a good guy. I think he makes good stuff and has interesting points from time to time. I don't even think he's wrong for most of it. And the jokes, sure, they're funny. Does the meme review stuff and whatever. He's just a guy I watch, I'm subscribed to him. That's about it. I can't say he's not top 25 favorites or anything like that, Anyway, I'm going to move on to the next comment, which is Synthstatic. Review Bra is a god. I wouldn't quite say that, but sure. Shock Vivo says, rest in peace, Bobby Burns. Oh boy, that's a weird situation, dude. Yeah, I think Bobby Burns was definitely hypocritical at some points. But why is Tommy NC in my chat? Oh, hi Tommy. Okay. Regarding Bobby Burns, that's an interesting one because, yeah, he might have been hypocritical or wrong about some things, or people might not have liked the new content, but I don't think he's. I don't have a problem with him. Like, I don't understand why there's hate for him. That doesn't make sense to me. Why hate on those things? I don't get it. I don't get it. Let's see. Tommy and C. I skipped it. Dang it. People keep telling Bobby Burns to go back to his old commentary videos, even though they didn't have much logic in them. It was mainly just Bobby saying his opinions as facts. The facts versus opinions thing is a whole different section because sometimes people say things and they're like, yeah, it's my opinion. But then sometimes people say things and it's treated with fact. It's a really important distinction because it can get you in arguments if you don't distinguish your opinions between the facts. Now, do I agree with a lot of what Bobby said? Sure. I think he said a lot of interesting and logical things. I know you said they didn't have much logic in them, but they certainly had some valid points at certain areas. And I did enjoy that content. I thought it was good, but he has the freedom to make whatever he wants. I'm not going to force him to make the stuff that I enjoy because if he's having anxiety attacks and mental breakdowns because of it, then he shouldn't be doing it. That's all I can say. Hey, what's up, everybody? How am I doing here today? Oh, you're doing great, Tommy. Just don't worry about it, all right? I'm amazed you even found this stream. Let's see. Separate channel for ASMR so no one will know. Yo, that's cool. Cool. Then Bobby the Racist Apple says, OMG, you have Tommy C on your channel, you lucky bee. Well, I don't know where he came from. He just found, let's see. Well, this is what he said here. I just found your live stream randomly, and that's why I'm here. Well, hey, welcome. We're happy to have you here, dude. I don't know, I don't know how you found my stream, and you'd say it was random, but nothing is truly random. Debatably. Yeah, this other guy says, yo, Tommy, welcome. Then Shock Vivo says, hey, aren't you the guy who got bullied by Leafy? That is, yes. Leafy had to make an apology video about Tommy NC 2010. That was so long ago. It's insane that people still remember it, but I understand why people remember it. At Shockwave, a nice way to phrase it. Sure. Then Synth Static says, videos talking about music, film, and other media is all subjective by default. No facts to discuss. That depends, because you can factually point out somebody's action, and then a lot of times, but I guess part of it then is just that people will look at things that people say and say, well, he never said it. Okay. People like to grab somebody else's opinion and be like, he never said it was an opinion, so he's trying to pass it off as a fact. Because oftentimes when you just bluntly say something, like, apples are good, it does sound like I'm saying a fact, or what I believe to be a fact. It doesn't sound like, well, in my opinion, I like apples. It's not, even if I were to just include the bit about me, if I were to say I like apples, that doesn't include everybody. That just talks about my opinion. Because when you just say something directly, that treats it like a fact. But when you state it as yours, as your opinion, that's when it becomes subjective, I believe. And of course, there's a problem with that, because a lot of people don't like when people say things that are just opinions. And you can always go back. I don't think it's a really fair debate to have, because it's like, okay, what's an opinion and what's not? What's an opinion? What are you not trying to say as an opinion? Are you trying to say these things as facts? And I get it. If Bobby Burns makes a video and says everything as if it's a fact, or at least presents it in just factual terminology and doesn't use the word I in terms of representing himself, then I understand why somebody could see that as him trying to make a video that's presenting facts. But that's not always the case either, because you do have to take into account that it's on his channel. It's him giving his take on a subject. So, I don't know. It's just not really a debate I'd want to have with someone. I think that's a really weird one, and I don't think you should ever use that as a point against someone in their video. Like, just the idea of, oh, they present it as facts. Never use that, because it's a really poor criticism, I think. Tommy NC says, September 18th, I will be back on Tosh.0 at 10 p.m. on Comedy Central. I hope you can tune in, everybody, and everybody stay positive. That's interesting. I didn't realize that was the case. Tosh.0, huh? Let's see. And Shock Vivo says, okay. Crippled Mexican says, Bobby did have a lot of valid points. I said that the wrong way. Well, okay, yeah. I think he has a little bit of a different sense of logic than some people do, and I don't think that's a bad thing, because it gives him a different way of looking at stuff, and I liked that about him. So, Josie X says, I've been lurking here for about half an hour. Well, welcome to the stream. You don't have to comment. It's okay. You can just listen. It doesn't have to be interactive if you don't want it to be, but it also can be. If you want it to be an interactive stream, then that's fine. Let's see. Then Tommy NC says, I hope everybody can live tweet the episode. Tweet at TommyNC2010 at Twitter. It's okay that you're saying that stuff, Tommy, like plugging your stuff. I don't personally mind about plugs. I don't think there's anything wrong with self-promotion. But there is a certain point when you do kind of have to stay on topic. And then that's okay. If somebody else is posting that for you or whatever else, it's fine. But anyway. Let's see. Shock Vivo. Have you ever watched Jack's films Yai? Actually, I did quite enjoy Yai, but then he started doing the Yai live. I never watch them anymore. I guess it's just a problem that some people are going to run into. I like traditional Yai, where he grabs comments and selects them himself. Anyway. I skipped the wrong thing. Alright. How many random live streams have you been on to promote Tosh.0 thing? Yeah, Tommy. It's pre-recorded, but it's going to be a new episode. Hope you can tune in. Oh my. Alright, dude. Whatever. I'll figure that out. I can't because I don't have television, so. Synthetic. To me, saying apples are good is an opinion because you are saying it. Yeah, but then by that logic, everything is an opinion because I said it. Apples are red. Sometimes they aren't. They're green sometimes. I'm trying to, let's say, I want to try to find something that's like a perfect, clear fact that we all can agree on, which is that I am live right now. Is that still my opinion, or is that a fact? That's a really weird one, because technically it is my opinion, isn't it? I don't want to think about it too much. Let's see. I don't live in the US. Oh, that sucks. Tommy said, well, I've been subscribed to your channel for a good while now. Keep making an awesome content. Hey, that's... keep making me awesome content. Yeah, that's... I mean, I try. I'm glad you find it to be awesome. I think that's really cool. But, you know, if you enjoy it, that's great. I'm going to try to keep up the content. I'm going to try to make it more often. I want you guys to see next Saturday. I want to have a new video out. And then the Saturday after that, I'm going to have another one. And then Saturday after that, another one. I just want to try to stay sharp on a Saturday schedule. Do my best. So I'll see what I can get you guys. Shock Vivo says, do a default dance. Okay. All right. Here we go. It's probably too dark to see. I hope that was satisfactory. Then he says thank you. Alright, cool. Then Bobby the Racist Apple says, I like apples. It's a fact because I do, in fact, like apples. That's a fact. You might not like apples, but I do, so that's a fact. That's an incredibly smart way to put it. Because, yeah, it is a fact that your opinion is that you like apples. But it is not a fact that apples are good, because good is assuming that, well, that's a morality question. Let's say apples are enjoyable. So, if apples are enjoyable, saying that, tasty, let's use the word tasty, alright? Let's stop with the stupid words. Alright. If you say apples are tasty, can that apply to everyone? No, because not everyone thinks they're tasty. So it's subjective. It is a fact that that's your opinion, but your opinion being fact does not make it, but the fact that it's your opinion doesn't make your opinion fact. It's the best way I can put it. Synthetic says, a review is someone's perception of something, not fact, so therefore it cannot be presented as fact. I typically don't take things as fact, and I think it's a mistake to do so. I think if you were to criticize Bobby Burns for presenting things as facts, I would understand your standpoint, but I'd also disagree with it, because at the end of the day, you have to take what he says as his opinion. If he's trying to present facts, and he's like, this is what happened in this situation, you can criticize him for that. And if he does something that you consider morally incorrect, you can criticize him for that. If you don't like his content, you can explain your opinion. But that doesn't make your opinion fact. It's factually your opinion, but it's not a factual opinion. Tommy NC 27 says, sorry, I didn't mean to upset you, but you keep being awesome, dude. Oh, you didn't upset me. But I'm glad you like me being awesome. I don't know if I'm awesome. Not everybody considers me to be so. I don't consider me to be so. I think I'm mildly average. I don't think I'm any better than any of you. I think you could all do the same stuff that I'm doing now, and I think that's why I work so hard. Because I know that I could do something that you guys can't. And I want you guys to be able to do something that I can't. Because that's part of what makes you unique. So, let's see. Or, not necessarily unique, because everybody's unique. Like, infinitely complex, unique kind of stuff. But, you know, I think standing out is a little bit different than being unique. Let's see. No harm intended, probably. Nope. Good is a subjective thing, red is a fact. Depends. Because if you have different eyes, you might see color variants differently. If you're colorblind, you might not see red. So red to you or to that person, is that a fact? We can factually say that the light wave, like the photons that make up the color red, exist. But only we can call that set of photons red. That's a whole question that's actually been discussed about on Vsauce actually with the whole video about is your red the same as my red. I think that's a really good one of his. It's one of my favorites actually. Crippled Mexican says Despacito. Well, you'd be able to understand that song, or at least the lyrics in that song, because it's Spanish, right? Something like that. If that was the most ignorant thing I've ever said, then well, you bet. Let's see. We can't see you. Oh, I know. When I was doing the default dance, I'm sorry about that. That's my bad. Synthetic says that was scary because of the lighting. Oh no. Keep dancing and burning the rug away. I'm heading off, man. You have a good night and stay positive. Hey, you stay positive too. I'm glad you're spreading positivity. That's not something the commentary community can do. For some reason. But yeah, I mean, if you need to go to bed, that's fine with you. If you need to leave, do whatever else, that's good. That's fine, man. So let's see. Shockwave Vivo. Nice and epic. Ooh, like epic games, huh? Separate channel for ASMR so no one will... Oh, yeah. Okay. See you, Tommy. Have a great one. Even though it was meant for me. Okay. Or even though it wasn't meant for me. Hey, you can respond to him no matter who it was meant for. Good job on the Limino vid. Thank you. I'm glad you appreciate the work done, because I mean that was a while ago. That was more than 6 months ago now. You know, I've only uploaded 3 documentaries this year. Yeah, the Limino video, the iDubbbz video, and then a Vsauce video. That makes 3, but they're my 3 favorite documentaries in that order. Actually, my favorite is the Vsauce. Second favorite is the iDubbbz. Third favorite is the Limino one. And you know, it's nice because those 3 are the 3 latest ones, and I've been amping up the documentaries so much they keep getting longer and longer. While that can be a considerably bad thing for some people, it's just one of those things where I want to make it as full as it can be, because I see a lot of channels that do this like brief history of a YouTuber, right? And they basically go over their history, which is what I do. So to differentiate myself, I want to add more of my personality in. I want to stretch out the video and fill it with as much stuff, as much facts, and as much detail about their history as possible. And I want to present the video in a slightly different way than they would. So I think all those 3 things combined help to make my experience worth watching along with or over the experience you would get from a brief history video, which I have nothing against. I think a lot of brief history videos are really good. It's a really good way to just get a brief understanding of that YouTuber. But if you want to get in depth, if you really want to know the details, then that's what I'm trying to present. I'm trying to present a full-fledged look at every situation, in terms of the documentaries at least. Shock Vivo says, do you have any editing tip? The editing program you use does not matter. I use a program called Camtasia Studios, and it's not one that's critically acclaimed for its editing capabilities. In fact, it's sort of the opposite. It's good because it's very intuitive. You can understand exactly what you're doing on the program because it's really easy to use. But it's not capable of everything. And a lot of people see that as, as like a limitation, like, oh, we can't edit on this because why not edit on the best program possible? Well, you see, creativity can come from limits. And I think the best thing that you can do is learn the tools that you have to their fullest and try to just create a creative mind, to try to develop interesting ideas and take inspiration. Do it. Just don't copy someone, because there is a difference between copying someone and taking inspiration. My biggest recommendation would be to take the ideas and that you see from other people and just mush them all together and make your own thing. Add a bit of you in there, because you are the sum of all your inspirations, or at least your content is the sum of all your inspirations. And I think you can see that in my own stuff, mostly in the topics that I talk about, actually. There are a lot of editing things that I take note of. When I see something cool on somebody else's video, it's like, how could I recreate that? Like, I ask myself these questions because I want to figure out what I would possibly do to do that with the tools that I have. If it requires me animating every individual pixel, If that's what needs to be done, do it, because it's possible. It's possible on any editing program, but it's not recommended. Get a decently good editing program and make sure that what you do is original in its own right. It's got to be its own thing, but it's also good to take inspiration from other people, because it expands the amount of ideas you have. It expands your creativity. It's like, this is a possibility. It opens up to you. It opens you up to that idea. And I had a bit of a struggle with that for a while, because oftentimes my videos were looking the same. I'm speaking about like a year ago, for example. All my videos from that time period looked basically the same. It was just an image would show up, it would zoom in and fade out. Image would show up, zoom in, fade out. Very repetitive. I wasn't being really creative with my stuff, and I've really learned to push creativity. I made a video, which is one of my favorites still, even to this day, despite it being about a year old now, which is called How to Be Creative. I think my point was so solidly summed up in that video that the idea, I mean, not how to be creative, it was how to be original. My bad, sorry, I got the title wrong. But how I presented that I thought was so perfect, because it summed up the whole idea of originality in a very clean-cut manner. It was like, this is where originality comes from. This is what it is. And there aren't very many things that are truly original. So I recommend watching that video if you want to figure that out. But because do you really want to? And I'm not talking about stealing ideas. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying take inspiration, figure out what exactly it is that makes their content entertaining. Don't copy that. I'm saying figure out how you can implement an entertaining idea within your video. Don't take topics, don't take specific edits. That's not what I'm saying. I make my own edits, right? But inspiration is extremely important. There's nothing that you can do without it, because the mind doesn't create ideas out of thin air. It creates ideas with the knowledge that it has. You have to build up that knowledge to be able to expand. You can always ask questions, but if you're really going to rely on just coming up with a whole brand new idea, do you really think you're going to be original? Like, just like that, just be original. That's one of the biggest pieces of advice I hear online. It's like, be original. And it's like, yeah, I'd love to, but I don't know how to. You see, the thing is, the guide to being original is not figuring out how to come up with brand new ideas, but figuring out how you can use the ideas in your head to make something new. It's not about what is it? Because I'm just looking at the chat here now. It's not about stealing. That's not what I'm encouraging at all. I'm saying analyze and figure things out. Like, keep making content. I think that's the biggest thing you can do. Just push out as much content as you can. Spend time working on your stuff. Try new things. And that's what I'm saying when I say take inspiration. I'm saying to try new things. Watch people, see what they do. Use your own personality in that. And because, I mean, you can't point at a single person and say that they're purely original. There's not a single person in history that is. They're all based on the ideas that they have in mind. You see, the videos, like, say for example, the topics that I make, they're all ideas that have been built up in my mind, but those ideas wouldn't have been put in place if I didn't research that subject to begin with. So when I'm introduced to a topic, it can get me thinking about it, and that can create new ideas from that, but it doesn't create them out of nowhere. You don't just get that from nowhere. But all right, let's read the chat before I get like too off topic here, or like if I get like criticized for that. So hold on, look, apples are tasty because they have taste. Okay, you know what I mean when I say tasty. I mean tasty as in delicious, right? I don't mean, like, of course they have taste, and some people might not have taste buds, so consider that. Let's see, synthetic. So is saying something is an opinion set up as a fact? Is it just poor wording? I suppose mostly, yeah. I'd say it's poor wording. If you present yourself as fact, or if you present something as opinion, that can make a large difference on how people treat you. Let's see. That's why we like apple flavored water. All right. Well, a person with bad eyes is wrong because they have eyes that are not accurate. Well, yeah, of course. The Let Me Know vid is what brought me to your channel. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Well, I use Film More Go. I've never actually heard that. Creativity is just the amount of things you steal, making them your own. That's a way of putting it. I mean, okay, sure. Technically, if you want to say that it's stealing, go ahead. But then everybody steals. You steal, I steal. You can't say that somebody steals if they're being creative while saying that you aren't stealing, but also being creative. Because, of course, it's all by inspiration. And there are people that copy. There are people that steal. They directly rip off ideas. In fact, I've had it done to me. I did this little cool thing with, like, I've actually had my topics ripped off. And I remember there was this one guy that was... I made a video. I don't remember which one it was specifically. But I remember he made a video, and it had the same exact title. And a lot of the same editing that was used in the video. And my video was uploaded first, and he was a commenter on my channel. So I realized there's like, it's taking a little bit too much inspiration there. You see, if you're taking inspiration by format, that might be okay, as long as you can introduce your own new ideas to that. Dab. No, thank you. I disagree. I'm not sure what part you disagreed with. I think it had to do with the creativity or inspiration thing. Let's see. You don't steal things to become creative. Well, then where did all your thoughts come from? Because, I mean, of course, this is all by the definition of steal. Because you cannot learn anything without stealing them, right? Because otherwise you have to take things from other things. And it can add complexity to your mind and your thought. See, I say steal, I mean be inspired. Yeah, being inspired, stealing, whatever. You can say, like, in this conversation, you can say it's the same thing. Like, let's see. It can be inspired by other things, but stealing is not the right word. No, it's not at all. But I didn't bring up that word, I don't believe. I don't believe and I could be wrong about that. There's a chance I screwed that up. Okay, if I said stealing, don't do it. Do not steal somebody's content. Take inspiration. That's my whole thing. Take inspiration. But learn from people and watch the kind of content that you want to make, because that's where you're gonna see what people do. Because a lot of the YouTubers I watch make the kind of content that I would like to make. Let's see. So, steal other people's ideas. Thanks for the advice. Now, who should I steal from? Not ideas. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's about concepts. And yes, stealing is the wrong word. Do not steal people's stuff. Let's see. Because more than one person can make a video on a topic. And yes, I did do 2 there because I do mean, like, more than one, right? More than one person can make a video on a topic. But that doesn't mean their videos have to be identical. They can add new things to it. They can add opinions and all that. So, I mean, hey, that's a thing. As a basic concept. Oh, I skipped one down. Let's see. Also, making something your own from stealing, it infers you are not directly stealing it. I'm kind of confused what you mean by that. Because again, I don't mean stealing. If I said stealing, that's not what I mean. Don't steal, but take inspiration. Which is just... I mean, what's the difference between... I was going to say what's the difference between inspiration and stealing, but there is a difference. It's just, with stealing, I guess, applies in a more general sense of it being directly ripped off. Copying. Do not copy and paste anything. That's bad. Let's see, as a basic concept. Alright. Yeah, I get you now, but your wording in the first comment didn't tell the same story. Yeah, again, I'm sorry about that. That was probably my mistake. If that's the case, that's my mistake. Synthetic. You most of the time are unconsciously take things from other when creating something. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you cannot create... I'm advocating the fact that you yourself cannot create any new thoughts. You can learn, you can consume things and mix those together for your own thoughts, but I don't think you can actually create your own thoughts. That's a theory, but... Oh, I heard a person. That's my brother. Anyway. You can't you can't necessarily create thought. I mean, if you were in a black void, you could only use what you have, and you could expand on that, and that expansion might get really large, and it might be like, yeah, wow, I know all this new stuff, and you technically do. You do know new stuff because you can have revelations about things. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I get you now, but you most of the time unconscious. Okay. Yes, but stealing is way too negative. My videos are focused on being kind of retro because I've been inspired by it. There is a certain point where you have to accept that so many people use a certain kind of format that it's no longer anybody's idea, and it's just a genre at that point. And that's okay. You can expand a genre. And that's interesting because when you expand a genre, it's like adding new to it, adding new things to that genre, and that can make it really cool because then the genre as a whole really gets fleshed out and it's a lot more worth engaging in. It's hard to explain. I get that. My English is dying. I don't blame you. Listen, I was on the internet since I've been 12, and I remember my English being horrible when I first started commenting. That was a bad decision, but hey, I learned actually. You know, most of my English education comes from YouTube because of how many people would always and constantly correct me. I learned from that. Yeah, I actually got better. So, haha, happens. I don't know what part you're referring to. Okay, see you, brother. I'm off to steal people's ideas. Bye. Oh no, don't do that. I'm not advocating for stealing. Just learn. Okay, learn. I like the idea of inspiration, but learning is the best thing. Just realize what makes somebody's content good. It's about all. Because I know I tried a similar sort of thing once, and it didn't work out for me. I'll explain that in just a minute. Okay, synthetic. Alright, I'm out. See you guys. Fantastic vid again, man. Thanks, dude. Thanks a lot. And thanks for participating in the stream. Thanks for correcting me on the whole stealing thing. And I know you guys are going to meme about it now, but like, alright, whatever. Arjun San, okay, hold on. I gotta check this channel real quick. If this is the Arjun, the one that I'm thinking about, then, yes, you asked, do I play Fortnite? Yes, I do. I'm just curious, are you the Arjun, like the one that I've known? Pretty sure you are. If I check my thingy thing. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I do play Fortnite. It's a game that I play. I wouldn't say every day, but you know, I play it on occasion. I do. I'm just checking this real quick. Yes, I'm the Arjun you know. Alright, good timing. So I'd love to ask you a question here, okay? Because you see, I received a little thing called a chargeback on my PayPal account after making you some Twitch art. Now, I don't know if you know this, but that's become a very negative thing among a lot of live streamers and graphic designers because when you charge back somebody's PayPal account, it can get their account investigated and possibly shut down. I made you the art. I got my money. You got what you paid for. You shouldn't take it back after I've made it. Anyway. I mean, I have to say that. It's like, don't charge people back. And that's why I would never do work for you again. Just because you didn't use the art doesn't mean I didn't make it for you. I still put the time in. You're paying me for my time. Anyway. Dang, bro. Yeah. What can I say? I couldn't contact you. I sent you a friend request on Discord. I tried to figure out any possible way. You deleted your Twitter. I couldn't go through DMs that way, and couldn't find any other channels or anything else that I could contact you through, but I was going to discuss that with you. I was willing to give you a chance, but, like, I was ready to dox you. Put your email out there and stuff. Be like, don't work with this guy. He'll charge you back if he doesn't use your art. And I want to give you more of a chance than that. I think you can be a respectable person, but... And I'd like to see what you have to say about it, because I got, like, the notification. I actually had, okay, my PayPal got hacked. Had to shut down my debit card. Okay. If that's genuinely the case, then I can understand that, and I can respect that. And if that is true, then I'm sorry for lashing out at you. But if that's not true, then, like, I'm sorry, but you're digging yourself in an even bigger hole. Now, the fact is, I don't know the facts. I don't know what happened. Thanos car? Yes! Thanos car! My bad, dude. Hey, don't worry about it. I don't know what happened with that. Whether you are telling the truth or you aren't, I'm not gonna make an assumption because it didn't affect my PayPal. Plain and simple. I'm happy that it didn't. So I got lucky, alright? I got lucky. But like the thing is, I mean, if your PayPal is that easy to hack, then I don't. We'll see. When I get my new card, I'll pay you back. No, don't worry about that. Like, I'm usually pretty good about graphics. It's just you shouldn't do that to people. Because I actually really enjoy making graphics. And you see, if it would have been, a week before that, it was like, I mean, a week after that happened, I would have definitely asked for my money back. But at this point, I've totally forgotten about it at this point. Insert Fortnite emote. What happened about the Twitter though? The Twitter? Oh, yeah. Sorry about the trouble. Well, I didn't really necessarily get put through a lot of trouble. I just got annoyed by receiving all these emails from PayPal saying that they were investigating the case because I had the money being charged back. It said that it was not authorized, and that was just, I had to deal with that, and then they kept adding it up because they had to do some transaction fees, like they had to do the paperwork, right? So I had to pay PayPal for that, and then ended up getting like $3 out of my account for that, and I think it ended up, even though I think you only paid $15 for all the art, I think that's what it was, something like that. I think it was asking me to pay $24 because of all the paperwork that had to be done due to the chargeback, but I don't actually know if it ever got taken out of my account. But yeah, chargebacks are horrible. If your account got hacked, I'm sorry about that. And don't worry about paying me back. I don't really care at this point. It's long gone. It's just, I don't know. I think it's one of those things where if your PayPal account is that easily hacked, then it's probably not a good idea to do work with you. And I realize, though, that I shouldn't just give my email out to anybody because that is a private email. And I know you haven't shared it with anybody, but the fact that somebody hacked your account and saw potentially my email, because considering he charged back the money, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to think of that whole situation. I don't even know if what I could say about it at this point, because I don't know if your account was hacked or not. So I'm not gonna make any more comments about that. Opinion on Ninja. He's a cool guy. I like his stuff. I think he's cool. But I mean, people want to criticize him and stuff. I don't really think it matters all that much. He makes Fortnite videos for kids, alright? What can I say bad about him? Hey, Lou. What's up? Let's see. Akita Knight. Hey, how's it going? I'm probably going to end the stream soon. It's getting kind of late for me. So. Yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, I got a lot of messages. What's this? Friends pending. Oh, okay. Anyway. Crap. I realized that you guys probably just saw my Discord, didn't you? What did I have it on? Did I have it on this? Ah, I see. Alright. Yeah, I gotta be careful about that. I realized that I have my chat like on the view thing like this. Oh, let's see. What are you asking? What the? Okay, there we go. There. Are you an epic memer? Actually, I don't make that many memes. I like memes. They're fun. I think they're a good way of expressing a quick comedic joke that conveys a specific purpose. Almost like a pun in a way. And I love puns. Puns are great. Good night, fam. Good night. Akita Knight. No, he's an epic LPer. Somebody says feminist. I mean, okay. Feminist. Sure, I don't know what the context of that is, but yeah. I should probably go now, guys. Thanks for the active chat. It's actually kind of nice to have that because I remember I stream sometimes. I'll stream Fortnite on my YouTube Let's Play account, the one that the original Lewis Skya Gaming, the one that I had at the beginning sometimes I stream Fortnite in there. It's been a long time since I have, but time to time, you know. Anyway, I think that's gonna do it for the stream. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you all for having a constructive conversation with me. I had a lot to think about, actually, and I think that was very interesting. You guys have given me a lot to talk about, and well, I mean, I don't know. Should I do this again sometime? I mean, I'd love to put more effort into these live streams. I think it'd be really cool, but you know, I've had a lot of plans for streaming. It's just I never really got around to them all that much. I feel like I could do something really cool with live streams. It's just putting the effort in. I'm not sure if I want to do that right now. I want to first test the waters, see if streaming is actually viable on my channel. So, you know, good night, man. Guys, I have cancer. Allier intro plays. Oh boy. Oh, I just got here. Oh, really? Oh, that's right. Dies. Hype emote. I'd like to do this again. I came so late. LOL. Close out. Close out with a fat dab, please. Okay, alright. I've had 3 people ask for this now, so. There you go. That's all I'm giving you. Alright. Thanks for coming out to the stream, guys. Sorry for the people that got here a little bit late. That's a shame, but I don't know what your time zone is, and I'm pretty much just gonna stream whatever. If you catch the stream, that's cool. I like that. Say hi, you know. But anyway, yeah. Thank you all again. I'll see you later or next time, whenever I stream again.